episode going on
There we
today. Good episode
There we
today.
go.
Appreciate everybody for tapping back in. It's your boy G along with Alec in another episode of 1600. Appreciate everybody for tapping back in. Make sure you subscribe to the show. We guys are watching on YouTube. Appreciate all the love. Continue to show love on all platforms as well. There's a lot of good stuff coming to you guys each week. So good stuff on that front. Before we jump into all our talks about LA and what's going on across all of the landscape, first things first, show me the money.
Yeah. You already got your money, man. Relax.
I don't know how I did it. I don't know how it happened.
I don't know. You were claiming you lost before you won, so I don't know.
But I'll take the dub. My team won our fantasy championship. I don't know how we pulled it off. Nick, who I faced in the final round, had to lose a couple of guys in his games in order to pull it off.
You must have had some voodoo dolls going at your house.
So, listen, man, a win's a win. I tipped the cap early. He had Anthony Davis and Anthony Edwards and Draymond all playing. They all started falling under in the last week. I was like, hey, that's tough. I'll take the dub. So, hey, good stuff there. Appreciate my boys stepping up as they needed to. Win me for MVP. I'm glad I'm on the right side of history. And, yeah, I definitely appreciate that little extra prize money I'm putting on. I might be putting on a prize later on today. So, good stuff there. Any words in defeat, Alec, you want to share?
I see you're putting the prize money to bad use there. With the prize picks.
Putting it where it's supposed to go.
No, man. I mean, I got that third spot. You know, I'm not happy about it. I felt like I let it slip away this year, and of course I had a couple of injuries there. But you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. So. I would say may the best man win, but this year you won.
He did. He did. I appreciate that.
But it was a good season. It was good. It was more competitive. We had like 6 teams fighting for the playoffs this year.
Yeah, absolutely great season. We'll continue to have more fun stuff going on. Excited for the football season once that comes around. Yeah, we'll keep you guys involved in all the fantasy stuff going on as things play out. But somewhat to a serious point, tying in what went on here, as I mentioned in the championship, part of the reason why Nick lost, by you guys can see there by 7 points, was because he was out on a guy. Anthony Davis went down in that game on Sunday with an eye injury, which caused him to miss the remainder of that matchup and led to Laker fans to have some caution during this final stretch of the regular season about his health right now, as well as LeBron. LeBron caught a little bit of a flu, or I don't know what he was that he caught, but almost missed last game. But was able to suit up. But we still fell short in that matchup versus the Warriors just a couple of days ago. How you feel about the Lakers right now? This is your tagline. The Lakers want to win. How you feel about them as they go into this final couple games of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, I asked that question, do the Lakers want to win? Because they were in prime position to snag potentially a 7th spot. Last night, the Kings lost a game, and then we saw the Clippers without Kawhi and Harden were able to get a pretty nice win on the road against the Suns. So knocked off the 2 of the teams that are sitting right above us and what could have put us in prime position to try to snag that 7th spot and maybe jump out of the position where we now are going to have to win 2 games in a play-in to get that 8th seed. So, yeah, my question, do they want to win? I know LeBron was a little bit under the weather and was kind of fighting through that. And I think he passed it on to AD because AD missed the game and had headaches and nausea. So I know our 2 stars were a bit banged up and one not there. But even beyond just the players, like Darvin Ham, some of the rotation, like some of the lineups, not even in just this game, but the game before, I was like, dude, like we've got no scorers, creators like on the floor. Like, maybe you feel like Dinwiddie is capable of holding down the fort, but
like an option.
We have better offensive options, or not enough to where you can just have D'Lo and LeBron and like Reeves off the floor, like all at one point. Like, you need at least, if you're not going to have LeBron on the floor, like D'Lo and Reeves, I think like need to be out there to help create offense, but.
Somewhat
a bit of staggering. I think we could benefit from. I know he's like trying to incorporate Gabe Vincent out there too. Like he's seen some minutes, but yeah, it was like it feels like we're not humming the way we should be. Like when you want to be trending towards the playoffs and chemistry at an all-time high and rotations figured out and all that. So that was why I had the question there. Do the Lakers want to win?
There's still too much time of experimentation going on right now. And I know we'll talk about, I guess, trying to this question. The Lakers feel like they can flip a switch in the playoffs and that in the right matchups, things can turn up. But even before getting there, we still want to make sure we are in proper position to make runs to do so. And winning games right now can go a long way. With that, it seems like I know guys are getting healthy still. We're trying to get more guys ingratiated in regards to Gabe Vincent and AD's in and out of the lineup and things like that. But even still, with the goal being to win games, you have to use the lineups that you know to work. So while we won't see more of the lineups that we know to work, having the D'Lo, Reeves backcourt with more with more Rui and LeBron in the front court, and then kind of rotating that third. Sometimes we put Torian in that spot, and he played good at times last night, but they didn't quite click as we needed to fully get the win. But there's still a lot of bouncing around. There was a moment where the game was close again against the Warriors, and he put out a lineup that was like, I think it was like Gabe, D'Lo, Reeves, I think it was Torian and LeBron, and there wasn't. And though the Warriors are a small squad themselves, the mesh wasn't right for the Lakers either to capitalize. I think the Warriors ended up going on the run themselves while that line was in. So the time for experimenting is now over. Stick with what works. And within that, make small adjustments and add one guy into the mix in regards to Gabe Vincent as he's getting himself into it. But don't really bring out new lineups right now that you think could work, because we need to just stick with what is going good so we can get wins, so we can continue to climb up the standings and make the run that we believe we can. So, I think we want to win. I think they have this mindset of the switch in the playoffs as of last year, but we shouldn't bank on that so much that we sacrifice wins as we're doing right now. So it's a interesting spot.
I think the sense of urgency too. Like I don't really feel that. Like I said, I know seeking to get guys like enmeshed in the offense once again, like Gabe Vincent and hopefully Vanderbilt at some point too. But it feels like you said, too much like experimenting still going on, tweaking still going on. Guys should kind of have their defined roles and know them, and be seeking to excel at them at this point of the season. And it doesn't feel like we necessarily have that going. So a little bit of a concern, seeing as though it's looking like we're going to be kind of firmly in that 9 or 10 spot and going to need to win to get into the playoffs.
With that being the case, is AD's health right now a cause for concern as we get into these games, the play-in and all of that? Are you worried about how we'll be able to hold up for this final stretch and into the playoffs?
I'm not too particularly worried about that, especially because like the last thing, it was more of a
freak incident.
Yeah, that a freak incident, but also like just under the weather too, as far as him missing this last game. If he needs to throw in the goggles like me and get out there with them, that's fine. I don't mind that, but I think he'll be fine in terms of his body hold. He's held up tremendously throughout this entire season. I know that hasn't been the trend for him in previous years, but he's held up, and he's been our most consistent player for this season, as we've given him praise. So I'm not too worried about the health. Obviously, like freak things do happen, but I think it's more so just the lack of consistency for the team as a whole. I think, as you said, like they are banking on being able to kind of flip the switch a bit, but would like to see them coming into the playoffs or play in with the momentum.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see what they can do to get back on track as we believe that they will. But for right now, the spot is what it is. We just pulled up the standings a minute ago and see we're pretty much set at that. We're in the playing range for sure, and we're going to stay around that 9 or 10 spot. Any chance we jump up to 8? You think we can make a move a little bit higher, or the 9 spots where we're going to fall?
I mean, there is a chance we could jump up to 8 just because the Kings haven't been playing like exceptional basketball really all year. Like they're kind of up and down. Great offense, bad defense. So like there is a shot where they could get to that 8 spot where there's 3 games left for the Kings and 2 for us. So it's definitely possible that they could snag the 8. Suns playing the Clippers again tonight, so if the Clippers could do us another favor and beat them again, maybe they could get as high as 7. But I think 8 is probably the most realistic.
Yep.
As far as jumping up,
Eight would be great because that would avoid us having to play 2 games, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And for the 7 and 8 seed, only
Or
play
having to
one
win 2 games.
game.
You only need to win one.
Only need to win one of 2 to secure a spot. So we'd love to have that be the case and hope that pans out. As you see here, we're at the 9th spot, and as we do each week, we'll look at our weekend review and see where we're at. The last games we have of the regular season are versus the Grizzlies on Friday and the Pelicans on Sunday. By this time next week, Alec, how we'll be looking heading into the play-in tournament.
By this time next week, I believe they will take care of business against the Grizzlies. That shouldn't be a litmus test, but if they play kind of wishy-washy in that game, I think that's more cause for concern.
Correct.
Pelicans game is a tough competitive game, but it's another game where I think they should take care of business. Pelicans have been struggling a little bit without BI. As great as they had been playing, that injury has hurt them. So I think these are 2 games that the Lakers need to win, and I believe they will. I'm gonna say they win both of those.
Yeah, I think we win both as well. I think also with the Pelicans sitting just above playing range, correct? I think just having them both wanting to have a final good game heading into the playoffs, I think that'll be a good test for both squads. I'll be happy to see us get the victory in that, as I agree we'll both. We're going to win both these final games of the regular season. So good high hopes for our squad. Hope that the switch that they believe that they have is real and they turn up as need be in this final stretch. We'll be back to talk about the play-in once it's stamped and our spot is set. But for now, looking forward to these final games of the regular season. And what are your final thoughts with other regular season, with that being the case? Just how you feel about the season as how it played out?
Yeah, I mean, kind of an up and down season, right? We saw the extreme highs of them winning the in-season tournament, which feels like it was another season ago at this point, with how early in the year that was. So we saw the Lakers' ability to really turn up and rise to the occasion for the higher leverage moments, even though it was, of course, still regular season games.
Yep.
And so we saw the high highs, but then we also saw low lows of them right after that, going on losing streaks and just seeking to find their footing.
Yep.
Season was kind of riddled with injuries. There weren't injuries to the stars, though, so you can kind of diminish that, especially if you're not a Lakers fan. You kind of maybe laugh at the Lakers fans who say we weren't healthy, but they were missing guys who we thought would be major contributors, like Vanderbilt, like Gabe Vincent, and others for a little bit. So I think that hurt the continuity a bit, and that hurt Darvin's maybe ability to find those lineups that work, and we're still suffering from that. But the season as a whole, I felt like they were a 500 basketball team. They've kind of turned it on later, and as the schedule got a little easier this end of March, beginning of April, they've taken care of business in those games they should win. So credit to them for doing that. I guess they're not just a 500 basketball team. They've been a little better than that. But it's a loaded West, and in this very competitive West, they don't strike me as the best team in the West, nor second best team. I think we're still kind of banking on the star power of LeBron and AD to carry us, and just guys along the fringes to step up in moments. And it's possible, but we're gonna have to see if they're capable of doing it.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that assessment of the season, and we'll see how it plays out in the postseason. For what we got for our 82 games that we got in regular season, just a full test of patience yet again. It's a squad that we saw last year can be upper echelon when they want to be, but we don't know if they always want to be. Also, when sometimes when they want to flip that switch, they always aren't able to as they would like because of injuries and all else that goes on, just as a result of them dealing with the age and just health situations that they continue to deal with. So, it's been a interesting one for sure. Tested the patience heavily, but still, there's a light at the end of the tunnel somehow still. So we keep chugging along and hoping for the best as things continues to play out. So, very excited for what's going to go on in the playoffs. We'll have more to talk about it as things get closer to it. But for now, that is it in regards to the serious stuff with the Lakers right now. For those tuning into this part, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you show the LA Sports Report. We'll see you guys soon with more content each week talking about all the things going on across LA. So good stuff on the serious side.